What's up, everybody? We are back. John Delarose here, the leading Hispanic voice in science fiction at Delarose.com. That's DELARROZ.com. You can roll over there right now and subscribe to my newsletter. Never miss a video, and you'll get some free comics and books for your effort. I appreciate everybody who signs up to the newsletter. All right, this is one that I wasn't anticipating getting. I actually had a book sell out for in-stock trades, and they asked me if I wanted a replacement. So I went down my wish list, and I'd marked a ton of books. And this is one of them that I'd forgotten about. So I just, this actually perfectly covered the amount from in-stock trades, so I decided to get this. This is Black Widow, the complete collection from the Marvel Knights era. And this was 1999, 2001, and it covers 3 different miniseries of 3 issues each. When I was younger, had the issues for the first miniseries of this, I believe, because it's written by Devin Grayson, and Devin Grayson was just a nice person to me. So I bought all of her stuff from that point forward. So that's all it takes, you know. You just got to be kind of nice. And Greg Rucka wrote this 3rd series, and they co-wrote the 2nd series. Now, the art on this is very interesting in the first series, and it is by J.G. Jones, and we'll get to that first. So, very pretty, very femme fatale stuff. And basically, what happens in this series... Oh, it's the 2nd series where it's different art. This is standard comic art, but I really love it. Very, very pretty stuff. And basically, there's a second Black Widow being developed because Natasha's gone all America on them, so they make their own Black Widow, and Natasha's sent out to go and try to recover this serum that is, you know, going to kill a bunch of people and all that, and so is the other Black Widow. They both sort of engage together on it. Tons of action, tons of posturing and spy games in here. Beautiful, beautiful series. The pacing is fast in this. There's an evil dictator guy who is using this serum to make super soldiers. He doesn't even care if it kills them. And both Soviet and American government are after them. There's a little bit of Daredevil appearances in here, you know, kind of about the past and all that. And but it's mostly about these 2 characters. Now, this new gal, her name's Yelena, and she's pretty cool. I liked actually. I had never read any real Black Widow stories before getting into this, and actually, you know, was kind of rooting for her at the time when I was a kid, and was excited for her to become her own character through this. And they solve the problem, and Yelena disappears. That's it. Her name's Yelena, right? I don't know. Something Russian-y like that. Now, the second one gets into this, like, realistic photo art. Yeah, it is Yelena. There we go. I was right. And this art is by Scott Hampton. And so you get this this sort of, like, photorealism art in here, which, you know, I don't love when comics do this so much these days. When this came out, I was a lot more into the style of the photorealism art, where they'd kind of take pictures and then kind of do this, like, coloring over it to make the panels. You know, it was pretty neat at the time. It was new. But nowadays, it just seems like you see this kind of thing a lot. Now, it does fit the interesting, weird, impressionistic story that goes on within this. And basically, our Black Widow, Natasha, has switched bodies with this other gal and frames her for murder, really screws up her life to really psychologically screw her up. And then takes her body and goes and tries to solve this Russian crime where there's going to be a nuke or whatnot. And eventually they fight off. You know, they have their fights, of course, but they eventually have to fight off the bad guy together. Seems to be the theme of the stories here. Bad guy looks a little like Wilson Fisk, but he's just some Russian agent of not that interesting of a background. But this works. I mean, as a spy story, this was better than the first one. The first one really had a lot more action adventure orientedness to it. This one had that real spy games thriller to it, which was a lot of fun. And so, very enjoyable work here by Rucka and Grayson and the artist, whose name I already forgot. I feel bad. It's Scott Hampton. That's right. And great stuff. So 2 wonderful stories I was thrilled to read. The third one, Greg Rucka takes over a little bit, and it's a little bit more of a, I don't know, edgier, darker comic story. And, you know, that's not exactly my bag. We have much more standard art. This guy's done by Igor Kordy, who does both the lines and the inkings. And the colors, I guess, are something to note on this by Chris Chukri. Because he really, like, oversaturates a lot. You can see the whole reds through here. To create a little vibe, I guess, through it. And, you know, it just, like, it makes... To me, it brings out the worst in the art. It just makes the people look ugly. The colors don't feel good in this, but you can kind of see the oversaturation through here throughout the story. And it made it a little harder to read. And it also, this story, it's about Yelena solo, so there's no Black Widow Natasha in this, which is fine. But basically, she's in Mother Russia, and she's investigating this bondage club. So you get these, like, really silly things throughout here. And it's kind of degenerate, and I just don't like reading this stuff so much. I guess it works in the spy genre. But basically, her trainer frequented this club and made a Black Widow who's in here, who's basically a prostitute, because he was so into Yelena that he just couldn't deal with it. And so Yelena goes in there and investigates, and, you know, lots of little cheesecakey moments all the way through here. But they don't look that great. I mean, part of it's the art, because, you know, I just think that the faces that this guy draws are just on the ugly side. There's a lot of artists who do this, and they do what I call just like angry, gritty teeth faces. And every person in here has angry, gritty teeth faces all the time, and they just don't look pretty. So, you know, if you want to do some cheesecakey stuff, it just doesn't work out very well when you do that. The Madam's just not that pretty. Even Yelena is not drawn very pretty here. And so that's the deal. She eventually, you know, kills a bunch of people, and it turns out it was actually a plot by the government to trick her into just, like, becoming more savage, is what it comes down to. So, interesting little character development for her. I do like the end where they're just like, hey, if she ever finds this out, you know, we're in big trouble. And, you know, I hope they do. I hope she does find it out, because that was kind of a nasty story. So I didn't love the third act, I guess, as much as I liked the first couple. But the first couple were just worth the price of admission by themselves. This is not that expensive of a book, being only 9 issues for a complete collection. It's $19.99. Most of the complete collections are $34.99, so it's short, worth the read, very fast read, and enjoyable stuff. So Black Widow, they've really littered the market with a lot of her trade paperbacks as of recent. There's a 2006 series, I know, that came out. There's the Widowmaker that comes after that, and I think there's a couple more series after that. And then there was the Mark Waid, Chris Samnee complete collection, which is my favorite of the bunch. But really good. Love Devin Grayson's work. I think she's a really good writer. And Greg Rucka did a great job on the second one. Well, he kind of passed the torch there. Not so much into the third, but that's okay. That's just my personal taste. I think from a craft perspective, there's probably nothing wrong with it. And, you know, if that's your bag, you'll probably enjoy it. Overall, 8.5 out of 10. Good stuff. Enjoyable. Hit the like and subscribe button. We'll see you soon.